What up, peeps, and welcome to another weekly trade video starting on Monday. There is so much awesome stuff here. Got a couple small collections traded in, a bunch of other stuff. We're going to start on the back wall. We have a Super Nintendo Classic. We have brand new Joy-Cons and a Pro Controller, and this little 8-bit N64 Bluetooth controller. We also have the Ultimate Songbird Edition of BioShock Infinite. It's got the statue and stuff. We have an Aura Interactor, which is a virtual reality backpack kind of thing that works for the Genesis and Super Nintendo. This one is factory sealed, which isn't that rare. It's only 30 bucks. We have a Game Boy Micro carrying case. We have a couple vinyl soundtracks here. Donkey Kong Country 1 and Metal Slug 4, which is pretty sweet. We have a Game Genie for the Sega Game Gear. NES Classic controller, which is brand new. Swinging back around, we have the more inexpensive PlayStation 3 titles here. Even though these are cheaper, there is some awesome stuff in here. Call of Duty, Sims, Batman, Kingdom Hearts, Skyrim, Mass Effect, Metal Gear, Soul Calibur, Bayonetta, Disgaea, Skate, Far Cry. I mean, you can't really beat these titles for, like, a lot of them are like $5 games, which I think is super cool. We have some Nintendo Wii games here, also some PlayStation 4, including Subnautica, which is one of Abby's favorite games, and people ask for that all the time during our Whatnot streams. If you're not following us on Whatnot, there's a link down below to that as well. We have some Xbox stuff, some PlayStation, and then a little Dr. Mario down there. And then let's come back over here. We have the Sega CD-X, which is a very hard to find console. It is a Genesis and a Sega CD in one. This particular one here comes with the original power supply, the AV cable, 2 6-button controllers, and we're throwing in the extension for it as well. We also have a little multi-tap kind of thing for the Genesis, which is very interesting. We do not get those very often for that console. We have some Sega CD games here, couple Gamecube as well. We have the Sega CD backup RAM cart, Ocarina of Time. We have Grand Theft Auto and Tony Hawk. And then we have Dementium 2, which is a DS game that people ask for pretty often as well. Operation C, some other Game Boy games here, including Double Dragon and Double Dragon 2. And we also have a couple GBA games. We have some Super Nintendo and PS1, including a complete, beautiful copy of Tactics Ogre. We also have some other PlayStation 3 games, Lost Dimension being a pretty hard to find PS3 game that we rarely get traded in, so that is super cool to see. A couple complete in box Super Nintendo games here. Yeah, they're sports games, but still kind of cool. They're in decent condition, not the best, but they're not the worst. PS4, PS2, original Xbox, and then we have the Game Gear collection. And there is so much stuff in here. Good variety as well. We have a lot of $3 games, as you can see, but there's also games up to 40 bucks, I think, or up to 50. So there's some hard to find ones here. Defenders of Oasis. This one doesn't have a tag for some reason. That one is 20. I'll tag that. But yeah, lots of good stuff in here. As I mentioned, we don't really get Game Gear games very often, and the consoles, unfortunately, every time they come in, they just don't work. So it is what it is, but Game Gear games, not super common, happy to see. We also have the Master Game Converter, and this plugs into the Game Gear and allows you to play Master System cartridges, which is very, very cool. I don't know why this thing isn't as well known and as popular as something like the Super Game Boy, which allows you to play Game Boy games on your Super Nintendo. Maybe it's just because you're playing, you know, home console games on a portable instead of the other way around. I don't know, but these things are fairly uncommon. They're not super expensive, but we've only ever had like maybe 3 or 4 of these in the past 7 years. So if that says anything about their rarity. I think I showed the Sega CD-X bag, but that is super cool. And then we have some Nintendo Switch games here as well. Pretty good variety of like some first party stuff mixed with some like indie games and just some really awesome stuff like Shantae and Ninja Turtles. Untitled Goose Game, of course. The Shantae Half Genie Hero is a Steelbook only, so no game for that one. A couple Rune Factory games. Sorry about the glare. Crash, Tetris, Stubbs the Zombie, Fire Emblem, Luigi. And then finally we have the Aqua Blue 3DS. This is an original 3DS model, but it is complete in box in excellent condition. And then lastly, we have the TurboGrafx Mini. So just like how Nintendo did the Super Nintendo Classic, they did the NES Classic, and then you had like the Genesis Mini, the PS1 Classic. TurboGrafx has one as well. And so that's the box for it. The console's actually down here in this carrying case, which would have been sold separately originally, but we're just including it all for one thing. And it's priced at the kind of at the lower end of what they go for on eBay. Not an easy one to find. So there it is, lots of awesome stuff. Stick around, there's plenty more to come.
Hey everyone, it's Jess, and I'm going to show you our trades. So it's not a ton today, but let's start over here. This is our little bit of media. And then we got some of our back wall stuff. We didn't have a ton here, but we have a bunch of variety, so a bunch of different consoles, which is pretty nice to see. So back here we got a little bit of that. One Gamecube game, The Sims, so good. And then a couple first-party Nintendo titles. Ultra Moon. Pokemon games never seem to last with us. And then just a little bit over here. And that is everything that we got. Not much, but some good stuff. All right, bye.
That's right, Cooper. Anyway, let's take a look at some trades we got. Cooper trades, crades. Oh, Lord. I'm not going to restart the clip. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I care about the content that I'm putting out there. But you know what? Today you guys are just getting raw, uncontrolled me. What is this? I've never heard of this before. Oh my god, it's cute. Oh no. Yeah, let's take a look at the back, guys. How much is it? $18. Okay. It looks like it's another mediocre NIS game, but one that I would, you know. Sometimes games just have to be pretty. They don't have to be good. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's keep looking. That Life is Strange is really nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of PlayStation 2 RPGs and stuff in as well. You know, a couple of the dudes who come in are like, I like fighting games, but I don't have any friends to play with. And I'm like, buddy, just hang out and double jump for a couple of hours, and eventually you'll meet other people who don't have friends that you can come and talk to. And, you know, maybe you'll make a forever friend, or maybe you'll find a lover. You know, we got it all here at Double Jump Video Games. We got friends and we got lovers. What's that? That's WWF Raw. Is it World Wrestling Federation? Well, not anymore. It's something else now. Oh, look. How to connect your Nintendo 64 to your old TV. Alright, well, 2 minutes have elapsed. What can I pull to look at a little bit more? I keep telling people to play these games. Talk about games to play with your friends. This one, you play as Tack and his dim buddy Locke. And it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing this with my cousin back in the day. Gosh. Oh yeah, Hey You Pikachu's fun. I mean, it was fun to me, but I was so obsessed with Pikachu I could overlook any difficulties in playing the game. And you know, that's what matters, isn't it? A game just has to look nice. It doesn't actually have to play nice. Yeah. We've looked at everything, folks. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, then that's hilarious. Absolutely tell me. Alright, love you, bye!
Welcome to Double Jump. We got trays today, and it's my Friday. I actually, I'm really excited. Got a lot of energy today, so we're gonna see if we can keep that rolling. Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff traded in the past, I think this was just yesterday. I don't know if there was anything before that, but maybe there's a couple things trickling in we didn't get a chance to film. All this available, of course, on our website, Double Jump Video Games. And we got a lot of cool manuals coming up. If you're local and you're looking for any N64 games, you might want to swing on in by, because all the ones he traded in were in such great shape. I know Cooper kept a couple for the new store, but there's still some pretty good ones out there, like a Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie in really good shape. And he had the manuals, but he just couldn't remember what he did with the boxes, which would have been pretty sweet because he kept all his stuff, as you're seeing now, in very good shape. I think there was like an Ocarina of Time manual. That was the only one that had a little bit of like waviness to it, but all these other ones looked like they were heat pressed. But they weren't. Stadium 2. They all, I think it's, do you like when they do this with manuals? Because you notice like the background of most of them, there's just an N64, and then it's just like writing. There's no, I mean, obviously some of these have pictures, but the majority of them, like if you just look at that, it's just yellow. Do you like when it's more uniform like that? Or I feel like I personally like it when there's more uniqueness, for lack of a better term for it. But there's that big box No Man's Sky. I heard that game's actually kind of fun now, kind of, what's the other one that tanked on really, oh, Cyberpunk. I heard Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky are actually pretty good now, so maybe I'll finally check them out. The little thin Lego Hobbit with some cheaper NES games, cheaper PS3. As always, I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
We got the Meebs. We got a large collection traded in from one of our local customer of Amiibos. There are also 3 pre-owned Amiibos in here, these cutie pies, and then the rest of them all came from the same customer. A lot of these are in pretty good condition. Some of them are more like fair to poor, but it just happens over time. Got a Loot Goblin and a Poochie Amiibo. The Poochie Amiibo is sealed inside, but the game is open and so is the packaging, so it's listed as pre-owned. And 101, a Vita. Look, it's you guys. And then here are some handheld games. I forgot to show those in the shorter clip, so make sure to show them now. And then we also got some 3DS games, as well as Vita, PS3. So happy that Deadpool is finally coming down in price because it was at like $70 for a while, and that was oof. Pretty cool Charizard, expensive cardboard, very nice. And of course, you know, typical Marios and Zeldas. They come in every day, they sell every day. And then over here is a very refined JRPG collection that was brought in by Kyle, our very own Kyle. And we have been working on his collection trade-in for a little bit now, but this is just a sneak peek at how premium it is. It is all just very, very nice stuff in really good condition. Few items have already sold, but here are these. The God of War was not his. And then we have some other titles that also came in. And of course, our shipment of Pokemon came in.